So let us start this particular session on transactional analysis. This transactional analysis is an important concept in organizational behavior, which talks about the individual behavior which you make with any other individual. And while making this transaction, while making this interaction, you want to not only tell your mental output of your processing or perception, rather you also show the behavioral state of mind which you are having at that particular point of response. And that is why this analysis become very important, because it is just like any financial transaction, that when you give withdrawal form to bank, and that withdrawal form consists of 100 rupees suppose, then bank gives you 100 rupees in return. Similarly, when you give transactional behavioral transaction to other person, that means X person says something to Y. So when X person says something to Y, it means X is giving some withdrawal form mentioning some amount, and that amount may be statement. That amount is basically the way you speak, the content you speak, the expectation you mention, the need associated with, and the response you expect from. So all these things are consisting of your input stimuli that you give to Y person. Now, Y, after receiving this X input, analyze it, process it, then give response. And you can very well understand that every human being, as per their understanding, gives you equal and required quantity and quality of response. If you are giving 100 units withdrawal form, then you will be given 100 unit withdrawal form. So if you give a statement in aggressive manner, you will get response in aggressive manner. If you will speak in cool manner, you will get response in cool manner. Sometimes you give input stimuli in cool manner, but you get response in aggressive manner. This happens when your content are of that type which provokes other person, and the interpretation consists of the hidden message. Whenever your transaction, your stimulus consists of an open message and a hidden message, then this equation breaks. You will be cool, other person will become aggressive. This happens only when you are having dual communication, hidden communication, or you want in a simple way you can understand that if you are pointing out with a comment, so your response would be different. Now the point is how to understand what response you are going to get. This you can understand only and only when you study the fundamental concepts of transactional analysis. And that is why this third unit is very important to understand in organizational behavior. So what we are supposed to do, why we study transactional analysis, that means human transactions, not financial transactions, human transactions, to develop a better understanding about our own self and to understand the other person also. because this develops a better understanding about human being. To know the current state of mind of other person, to know the current state of mind of yours also. When you analyze that this is not right time to say something, this is not right time to initiate something, this is not, that as a human being, unknowingly or knowingly, you better understand when to take entry into your head's room. You try to analyze the situation and accordingly you take entry. Maybe that you are very comfortable in going to Harsmith ma'am's office, but you may not be very comfortable every time, or your mindset may not be same when you are supposed to go to vice chancellor's office, because you want to inquire about the situation, you want to inquire about the suitable time, you want to inquire about the state of mind. And this is why, because you are not aware that what response you are going to get. But after studying this transactional analysis, you may be in better condition, you may be in better position to understand when to take entry into your head's office, when to take entry into your vice chancellor's office, and when to take entry into particular teacher's office, or even in your house also. Every day when your parents or mother or father, whosoever is working, comes in the evening to our house, you are always ready with your demands. Maybe sometime you say that you want some new clothes, sometime you want some new video game, sometime you want some new mobile, something like that. You study the mindset of your parents, father, and you search for a suitable time. Say for example, many time it happens, you keep on asking to your mother that, mom, is it right time to discuss with papa, or something like that. So basically this analysis, why you make analysis of human transactions, sometime it happens, you initially make a trial, you ask for a very small thing, you ask to your father that, okay, can we go to the market? Your demand is not open till date, but that will give you what is the state of mind of your father in the evening after coming from office or from business or from outside. So it is very simple. You know that when there is a war room, you don't know what is going to happen across the border. Then you take a trial. You throw a stone and you see the response before firing, so that you can understand that what would be response from other side. And likewise, there are human beings which simply throw a stone to know your state of mind and then keep quiet. And on a simple stone, you start firing or you start giving response and response. So this is not a good sign of a human behavior. When you talk about human behavior, when you understand human behavior, it simply means you must understand what is the suitable time to initiate. And obviously, you want to understand other person, human behavior, just to prevent the unnecessary disagreement or conflict. Obviously, if with your demand or if with your objective some conflict arises in the organization, in the department, so obviously you would not like to do it, but you can understand only when you know the behavior of other person. And that is why we say that human transactional analysis is very important to understand, and this will help you out. Now, what are the different types of a human behavior when we talk about that transactions? So as you know that in set theory, you might have studied one-to-one mapping, one to many mapping, many to one mapping, and many to many mapping. Likewise, we have intrapersonal behavior. Now, what is this intrapersonal behavior? If you want, it is a behavior which is individual behavior within yourself. How you behave. Say for example, you know that the eating pan masala is injurious to health. There is a big warning. Smoking is injurious to health. There is a big warning on the packets. But even after you consume it, it simply means that your behavior towards yourself is not good. You are not taking care of yourself. You are casual. You are not serious about your health. So your intrapersonal behavior is kind of behavior or individual behavior or personal behavior towards yourself. That is not good. If you talk about interpersonal behavior, it is a kind of one-to-one behavior when X interact with Y. So it is one-to-one mapping. So when X interact with Y, obviously Y interact with X. Now this X and Y interaction is called transactional analysis. Transactional analysis believes to analyze in stimulus and response which one person gives to another person and another person in response to first person give response. And this we will discuss in detail with the transactional analysis. Another thing is intra-group behavior. Intra-group behavior is a kind of behavior where you are considered to be a group of 5, 6, 10 people and your behavior within those 5, 10 people. That means you are 1 and there are 10. So 1 to many mapping. So at a time you are interacting with 1. So say for example in WhatsApp group, when you say something, so you are interacting with whole group at the same time. So it is something, WhatsApp group is basically intra-group behavioral pattern. Whereas when someone message you on your individual WhatsApp number, it is interpersonal. So in intra-group, this will come in group behavior in coming units and we will discuss on details. Then you have intergroup behavior. Now this intergroup behavior is very interesting. When individual behaves in intergroup, then there is a very interesting case. Now important thing is why we discuss about the types of behavior. Can you predict any behavior of a person? It's very difficult. Say for example, when you are individual, that means interpersonal. When you are individual, your behavior is very much different than when you are in interpersonal. Say for example, you are going to somewhere and on a crossing, someone hits you. Someone hits your bike or someone hits your car. What will happen? You will come out of, you will ask that why at all you did this. But your tone of asking this will be different. Suppose you are full of 4 of your batchmates in that car. And in that situation, when you come out of the car, your tone of asking this will be different. Your behavior will be different. My example, simply to make you learn that it happens that an individual person cannot do the same act when the same person comes in group. Same person comes in along with friend circle group. Then behavior changes. Simple meaning is that, say for example, when it comes individual, you cannot hit the car of your vice chancellor. You cannot throw stone on your vice chancellor's car. But when mob comes, group of students comes, they can very easily do it. Even though same ex-member as an individual cannot hit the car, but same individual member when comes in group hit the car of vice chancellor. It's very simple. And that is called as a mob behavior or group behavior. So your individual when you are in group very much differs, just opposite to what your individual is. Now when a person in a group changes behavior, then what will happen when you join an organization? Your behavior will again change. Same X person in individual capacity behave differently, in group capacity behave differently, in organizational role behave differently. So this is very important. And when person is behaving individually, when person is behaving in group behavior format and in organizational, this is very important to understand. And if you can understand, then you will not mix individual behavior with group behavior. In common sense, people generally say that we do not merge personal life into professional life. So what is it? In personal life, you are individual. In professional life, you are organizational person. So in professional life, your behavior, expected behavior is different. But in personal life, your expected behavior is different. And if you start behaving in organization as an individual, that will disturb the whole system. And if you start behaving organizational format in individual capacity, that will also disturb whole system. Say for example, if your parents or your father or your mother who is working start behaving like manager or IS officer in your house, what will happen? Because in office we are supposed to behave in a different way. In our house, the same phenomena is not, you can say, not suitable. I say permission, or that is different thing. So you need to understand that there is a very strong importance to understand that yes, individual behavior differs with the organizational behavior. Now, what are the different modules of transactions? Transactional analysis. The very first module that we discuss about is level of self-awareness or self-awareness. Sometimes it is also called as a ZOHARI window. This helps you to understand your own awareness level, your own potential, your own hidden skills, as well as when you use this, your self-awareness level in interaction, how this impacts. We discuss about the life positions. Life positions means that tells you that what is your mental state of mind at present. The ego states. The ego states talks about the within mental set of mind, mental state. What are the different phases, or you call it in your layman language as genre. So what is the present ego state when you receive some transaction or when you give response? That depends. Types of transactions, we will discuss that. Yes, what types of transactions are there? Life script. This is something which you talk about, that some relation with your karma, and according to your karmas, what is lying in your destiny. Or sometimes it happens that your life script makes you to move in a particular direction. In childhood stage, if you have been fascinated or motivated or influenced by some pilot living near neighborhood, then that pilot life may have influenced you in such a way that your life script has added that role into that, and knowingly or unknowingly your life is bending or towards the pilot career, and then you are moving towards that direction. Your interest develops, you keep on getting information about the how to become pilot, what is the eligibility requirement, uh, in which particular month or year the vacancy comes, how much cost. So basically, what is, if you are motivated by a politician, so you will keep on knowing, you develop your interest in how to become politician, what is the benefit, what is the cost associated. So everything, your interest would be in that line. Say for example, some boy develop interest in cars. They may not be knowing that what is 1 plus 1, but they know what is 1 plus mobile. So it depends that what motivates you, what influences you, and accordingly you write your own life script. And whatever your script defines your role, you follow that role. Stroking. Like in just few minutes back, I discussed that when you are interacting with someone in X manner, cool manner, but Y gives in aggressive manner. So it is kind of provoking. So stroking is something which is kind of, I say that ignition into your human transactional analysis. Ignition. Say for example, if any dead machine is there, if dead engine is there, so sometimes you try to take hit and trial, you hit here and there in the expectation that engine would start. Similarly, in a human transaction, sometimes you keep on saying something to someone, you keep on saying your demand to your father that I want new car or I want new mobile, but your father is not listening. Then you give a stroke to your father, maybe emotional stroke. Say for example, emotional stroke means you say, Pankaj father has given, or you don't love me. You try to hit that machine or system or human being from where you are not getting response. So when response is not coming, you use stroking. If some of your friend keep on listening and says that okay, keep on saying, not responding, then you hit a stroke. And that stroke most of the time works. The very simple example is when your father says that you are duffer, you cannot do anything. So basic objective is not to realize that you are duffer. Basic objective is to make you to listen, to make you to perform, to make you to work, to make you to study. So objective is positive, but the approach is negative. And that is why I say if X says in cool manner, just opposite comes, aggressive. Psychological games. When you are having hidden transactions, that means one social transaction and one hidden transactions. Then there are psychological games when you want to say something, but actually you say some different. no message. So then there is a called as a psychological games. Many times your friend says that are you playing with are you playing with me? It is what? Basically, it is psychological games. So in today's session, we will try to cover up only first level of self-awareness. That means Johari window concept. Some newer concepts will also be discussed which are under research right now or at present. This is what the actual topic is of today's Johari window concept, or you talk about that level of self-awareness. It's a very simple concept. Some of you who have studied psychology or BBA, you might be aware about this. But my way of making you learn is very easy and systematic. The first quadrant is explained as arena, and I say is A, B, C, D. Arena, blind, closed, and dark. And these are the psychological, awareness quadrants in your personality. You can understand there are personality quotients. Arena quotient is, or arena cell is basically a cell where the information known to you and information known to others, they are kept. This arena self is also called open self. So open self means there are some informations about which you are aware and the whole world is aware. And this arena self is not a very crucial, this cell is called open self because you know it and everyone know it. Say for example, if I say that you are studying in MBA first year, so this information is an open self. You also know this information about you. Information about you, it is very important. Say for example, self-awareness means if I am talking about X person or if I am talking about myself, say for example. So information about myself is known to me and information about myself is known to others. So there may be 4 quadrant, and that is why it is indicated into green color. Everything is green, grass is green, everybody knows. I am Dr. V.K. Yadav, working in Department of Humanities, HBTU Kanpur. This information is known to me also, known to others also. So when this information comes, there is no ambiguity in interaction. There may be some informations which are not known to me but known to others. Red, look at. Information about me is not known to me and information about me is known to others. That means, say for example, can I clear IS examination? Do I have potential, capability, skill to become IS? So this may be information which I may not be knowing about myself, but my teachers, my coach, my family members, they might be knowing that you can do this thing. Usually you must have heard about the Hindi proverb called पूत के पाँव पालने में ही दिख जाते हैं. तो पालने में कौन देख पाता है? The information which is hidden, which is potential, even the person is not knowing, but you know it. You know that one day this person will become this. So that information you are blind about, right? And others know. Say for example, sometimes your friend is confident that you will top this batch, but you yourself are not so confident. You are not confident. So that information is in blind self. Sometimes there are information which need to be kept into closed self. That means information about you, known to you. How many rupees I am having in my pocket, only I know. And my friend is not knowing that information that I am having 10,000 rupees in my pocket. When you come to HBTU to join class, suppose you are having 10,000 rupees in your pocket. If nobody knows if this information is in closed self, it is good. That is why this quotient of personality, cell of the personality, self-awareness position is called as a strategic position. You have to take care of this strategic position closed. Because if your friend comes to know that you have 10,000 rupees in your pocket, then there are chances that the behavior of your friends would change towards you, and they may provoke you, they may motivate you, they may convince you to go to canteen and have a party. So if this information, and if this information is not, and human is very much strategic in this case. You always try to hide things. So there is a locker sort of thing, and you want to keep some information in your locker, physical or non-physical. And if this information goes in arena self, open self, this will be very dangerous. You are traveling in bus, and if the other person comes to know that you have 10 lakh rupees in your pocket, what will happen? You may be kidnapped, or there may be pocket picketing. You may be a victim of pocket picketing. So this has to be very carefully taken care of. So that is why this self is called strategic self, closed self. I have kept this name closed, keeping in view so that you can remind A, B, C, D. A, B, C, D. It simply means arena, blind, closed, and dark. Now, D dark, as you understand, that information about you is not known to you, but at the same time, the information about you is not known to others also. So, this position, this awareness level is very dangerous when you don't know anything. You don't know, and others also don't know. So, you are not aware. What will happen? Ideal position is to minimize this particular self, or to minimize this quotient or this self. Try to widen this. Try to widen this, but not this way. This way. This blind self should be widened horizontally, means towards A, not towards D. And this information has to be handled strategically. It is not necessary to make this C or this self move to either this way or move to this way. Because the information, there are some crucial information which has to be kept in closed self. You cannot compromise with those informations. Since you cannot compromise with those informations, because they may be risky, because they may be sensitive, they may be strategic as per your business point of view. So you want to keep, say for example, there are many students in batch. They keep on doing something to become topper of the batch. But Other batchmates are not knowing this thing, what they are doing. They do something, but they show something. But that is fine because they are strategic in that. For every activity, you have to be strategic, and you can win when you are having a proper strategy at place. So this become very crucial when you interact with someone. You know your self position, then you know that how much information is with you. You know, the more information, the better interaction. The less information, the less interaction, less effective interaction. And that is why I say that it is very important to increase the blind self horizontally, to optimize close self, to minimize dark self. It is very important. So strategy should be very clear what to do. So this closes my lecture. We will continue this in next session.